Hi, it's Savannah Ogwin from Savannah Land 2. Today I want to revisit my cross stamp stitching technique. I got a huge response to my creations on Facebook, Pinterest, and here on the Virtual Smooches blog. I also received 2 emails asking for an explanation of how I created my images with a cross stitch pattern. Now I knew I should have added that info into the video the first time, but I was running short on time and I forgot. So here's my original card. This is the fox, and this is the pattern that I used. And the X that you find on this image is actually the small X image in the Paper Smooches Need a Little Love set. And you can also find another one in the Focal Point stamp set. Now I also created this card during that video, and these chevrons came from this pattern. Now this chevron and this fox are not Paper Smooches images. I created them using the X stamp and a cross stitch pattern. Now both of these images can be found on the internet and they're both free. And for today's project I wanted to use this dinosaur image. I have a nephew that's turning 2 today, and so I wanted to give him a dinosaur image for his card. Again, to start we're going to need a couple of supplies. Some cardstock or pattern paper. You can see in this fox card that I used some pattern paper as my background, but used just regular cardstock for this. Either one works well. You're going to need some inks, and I'm going to use some green ink, your cross stitch pattern, and your Paper Smooches X image. Now to start this cross stamp stitching technique, I want to look at my dinosaur image and see where the tallest and then the widest part is of this image. Now I hope you can see this. My ink was running out, and so I had to do a really quick print. But up here is my tallest section of the card, or the image, and then down here would be my widest. So I want to make sure that I cut a piece of paper or pattern paper a little bigger than this image. Now for this dinosaur, what I would do is I would lay him to the side as my reference point, and then I'm going to use a sticky note to guide me along the way. So I want to start, I don't need the sticky note yet, but I'm going to start here with these 2 stamps. So I'm going to ink up my image, my X, and wherever there's a colored box, that's where you're going to place an X. Now let me pull back this chevron. This was made out of X's, so wherever you saw an X, that's where you would place your image stamp. But now I'm working with colored boxes, so wherever there's a colored box, that's where I'm going to put an X. So I'm going to do 2 right in a row. It's kind of hard to see on the video. So there are my 2. Now you can definitely take a pencil and mark this row off so you know you've done that one. Oops. Now that I've got ink everywhere, now what you want to do is go over 1 row and up 1 to create 3 down. Now that's a lot to take in, so I'm going to show you how I did that. Starting from this box right here, we're going to go up 1, and that's the one I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to go up 1, and then I'm going to stamp 2 more down. Now it's okay if that the dinosaur's eye is black. We're going to add that later. So now I've done this one, I'm going to mark him off. Now here's where my post-it note comes in handy. It's going to show me the row I'm going to do next. So I'm going to stay across on that line next to that box, and I'm going to go down. So I'm just going to stamp my first one so I know I've started it. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to mark him off and continue with the next one. Now we're going to go down one and stamp. So go down one and stamp. Now we're going to stamp a long line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we're only going to do 7 because we already have one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I forgot how many we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that we have that row done, we'll mark him off and move over. Here's a tricky one. We've got 3 blank spots and then 1. So we're going to count down 4 and stamp there. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4 stamp right there. So see how I have 1, 2, 3, and then I stamped on my 4th one. That's exactly what we've done here. So from here we're going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to do 7 X's. And I'm going to clean off my stamp because it's a little cloudy from the ink. We're going to do 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now if you ever have questions about what your image looks like, you can look at what you've created so far. Let me take this pattern right here and hold this up. You can see that these 2 are 2 below that one, and that's exactly what we have here. So we're right on track. Mark him off. Go to the next one. Now for this one we're going to go down 1. Let me stamp that so I know what I'm doing. Down 1. And we're going to stamp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a long one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we go to the next one, go down 1, and we're going to end on the same one. So I don't need to count it. I just need to go down 1 and continue, which I know is 8 because 9 minus 8 is 1. Cross stitching is a mathematical craft. I used to teach it to my 4th graders. They were so good at it. We would make creations for the nursing home and stuff. It was fun. Now we're going to do the same row, so same height, and we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to wash off my stamp again because it was getting cloudy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is how I create my images. I would continue, but it's the same process all the way down the whole dinosaur. Now to get his eye a different color, all I did was, let me clean my stamp. All I did was stamp my X with a brown and re-stamp that X in the center. Now it's okay if your images are a little crooked. Notice how mine goes down this way a little bit? That's perfectly fine. They end up being straight on your card because of the way you cut it. Now I had to cut this one. My paper was a little bit straighter over here, but I cut a nice straight square or rectangle around that image for this one. Now here's a finished dinosaur, so you know what it looks like when you're finished. And I actually have created another one for my nephew's card, but I haven't finished his card. I will show this picture at the end. Here he is, and I've added these My Mind's Eye papers to it, and added a number 2 that I've die cut from the numbers die set. And then I will finish his card with a ribbon and a couple of different other things. I hope this helps you understand how to cross stamp stitch with a pattern and your Paper Smooches X image. I also hope that you will try cross stamp stitching with your next project. Please leave a comment below with a link to your creation. I'd love to check it out. Thank you so much for watching.